we should wait a couple of minutes before to see if anyone else.
Yeah, give it a couple of minutes.
So have you been doing lots of these sessions?
I've done a few sort of just private ones, but participating in just water, I thought, let me give something back, and hopefully we can sort of hydrate the imagination and just look at water a bit differently.
Great. I've just shared my slide. Can you see my slide?
I can indeed. Beautiful. I love it. Smiley faces, beautiful glasses of water.
But I can't see anyone anymore, so I don't know. Let me know if anyone else has joined.
Okay, yeah.
Should we maybe just give it one more minute?
Yeah, let's give it until 1803, I think would be fair.
Great fact. Shall I start? I think it's 1803. So I can't actually see who's joined, but just thank you everyone who's joined. Just to say this is our first ever water tasting evening. So really looking forward to getting started. Just before I pass you on to our Water Sommelier Milin, just wanted to say just say hi from the Just Water team and introduce ourselves. So I think it's just Kathy and I on the call today. Carrie's not able to join. But my name is Rachel. I work at WaterAid in the community and event team. And yeah, this is the first time I've ever done water tasting before. Kathy, do you want to just say hello? I can't see you though.
Hello, hi, I'm one of the Just Water volunteers, as you can see here from the slide. So I just have been part of things like the Facebook page and answering some participant questions, and it's been really great. And I've been a supporter of WaterAid for about 6 years anyway. So yeah, I drink water a lot. And so I'm really interested in wanting to know about the different water tastes and everything that you have. That'd be great. So yeah, hello to everybody.
Hi, and just before we start the water tasting, just wanted to say a huge thank you for those of you that are doing Just Water this year. Yes, you're helping us at WaterAid transform lives with clean water. In uncertain times, clean water is more important than ever. People around the world need clean water to stay safe and healthy, protect their livelihoods, and build a better future for themselves, and whatever our changing climate brings. Unfortunately, we still live in a world where 785 million people don't have access to clean water. So by taking part in Just Water and fundraising for WaterAid, you can bring clean water to thousands of people around the world. And even better, until the 4th of February, your donations will be doubled by the UK government. We've set up a Just Giving page for tonight's event, totally not compulsory in taking part, but we recommend you make a donation of £5. So I'll just circulate that in the chat box, but I'll just pass you on now to Milin. But yeah, thank you from us.
Thank you very much for the introductions. Right, so first of all, I think we should give each other a big round of applause. It's been 28 days, pure water, nothing but water, Mother Nature's water, so come on. Yeah, brilliant. So can I ask, how's it been going since day one to now?
It's gone quite quickly in some ways, but it's been quite boring in a lot of ways too.
Yes. I believe we had to be very imaginative with the ways of consuming just tap water, or if it was bottled water, or infusing, or carbonation levels. So yeah, it's as a water technologist by trade and a water sommelier, I thought, oh, easy, no problem, just drinking water. But it really put me to the test, especially in the mornings and working, not having the coffee and the tea, which I really enjoy. You know, my masala teas in the morning were the one for me. So not having that in the morning, and changing it up a bit with different temperatures of water, etc., or a splash of lemon has helped. But yeah, it was tough going, and then got a couple more days left, and then we may enjoy it. So I think you guys, all of us have done really well so far, and I think it's brilliant. Okay, so I'd like to start with our respect and gratitude for tap water. You know, to go to the sink and open that tap to have fresh, wholesome, clean water is amazing, and it really is life. And it's the campaign that WaterAid's doing is absolutely fantastic in regards to bringing safe, clean water and decent toilets and sanitation. So what I would like today is discuss the respect for tap water, how we can improve tap water, but then also look at waters in regards to the essence of water. Since I've been growing up, and maybe you may also feel the same way, we've always been told that water does not have taste, or you know, it's just a substance for hydration, for life. But being a water technologist and passionate about water and studying to be a water sommelier with the Fine Water Society within their academy, I was able to zone in on the elements of water which make water, the minerals which make water, and it's absolutely fascinating. And I treat waters from natural source exactly like a wine sommelier would treat a fantastic wine. They talk about the terroir, the region, you know, if it's from the Rioja region in Spain, okay? So the reason that I've become a water sommelier, and I'm passionate about this, is to change people's perceptions of water and create healthy lifestyles by incorporating water within, and also being experimental with water. You'll be absolutely fascinated with the types of infusions, or looking at even the temperature while you're consuming water. Okay, so if you do have a glass, I would like to say cheers. Got some good Thames water here. Cheers. Perfect.
We're just getting the tap water here.
Yeah, perfect. Which region do you live in the country?
Just North London.
Okay.
And here we are. Cheers,
I'm
everybody.
I'm in the far north of Scotland, and I'm
Yes.
north of Inverness.
Perfect.
I'm South London.
Okay. Perfect. So already we have a variety of different sources of water, which will definitely taste completely different. The times that I've visited Scotland, the granite rocks makes the water feel softer than what it does in the south, which is very hard and very chalky. So right there, already we've got two different tasting waters that will taste completely different. Okay, so when we're describing water, we're talking about the flavor, and that will equal taste plus smell plus the mouthfeel of water within the mouth. So what constitutes the water to give it its taste is what we call TDS, total dissolved solids, or dry residue. And for those that have some bottled water, you'll see this on the label, and it might be 200, 300, 400. Right here, I've got a San Pellegrino, and it will give me a TDS of 853 at the bottom. Okay, so that TDS value is what is added all up with all the minerals within the water. So we're talking about Mother Nature's minerals, earth minerals like magnesium, potassium, sodium, bicarbonate, silica, and all of these are dissolved in the water through the geological strata of the local region, the terroir, exactly like when they discuss the terroir of wine. This is how the water absorbs through the geological cycle, sort of, back to school, learning about the water cycle, but now it's the minerals that are picked up on the way. So the minerals up in Scotland with the tap water will be potentially less and a lot softer in magnesium and calcium than what they would be in the south. Okay, so this is what gives it its distinctive mouthfeel, the texture. You may not get a hard impacting taste like you would do with a wine or a spirit that you're drinking, but definitely there is a taste to water. And what we're going to do is explore that a bit further. Okay, so in the south we have hard water, which is higher levels of calcium and magnesium, and these calcium and magnesiums will give the water a slightly zingy taste, maybe a bit more bitter, saltiness, and the calcium may give it more of a chalky feel, but with a sweet undertone. I know you might be thinking, oh, water doesn't taste sweet, but the further north you go in the country, it genuinely does because of the mineral composition. So when we're experiencing waters like this, understanding the composition of that TDS, total dissolved solids, we can then look at Mother Nature adding, is it 50 milligrams of magnesium? Is it 60 milligrams of calcium or potassium? And these are all the beautiful ingredients that are dissolved into the water to give it its unique taste, its unique mouthfeel. So what we can do with this is pair this with foods, with wines, to make them taste better, or just improve the taste of your wine, which some of these minerals will help balance the alcohol content. So when, say, wine sommeliers are talking about the fruity flavors of the wine, drinking wine with water and the right type of water can help those flavor profiles really be punchy and loud on the palate and really explore the taste of things. So what we've got is we can discuss the virginality of water as well. Does it come from a protected source? And this would be dependent on the nitrate level. So some waters may come from an area where there's agricultural and industrial pollution, and that will be recorded in its nitrate level. Some waters are from protected areas like Highland Spring from the Ochils in Scotland, a very, very protected catchment area, and the nitrite levels are very low. And then we can talk about vintage, like you do with wine. The vintage of wines, in the context of water, vintage is meaning how long has that water been in the process of absorbing the minerals through the rocks. There's some waters, for example, here, Fiji, that may be about 150 years old prior to it coming up to the artesian spring and out and then bottled. But then there might be waters, say, like Evian here, which has a 15-year filtration cycle. And then we have a very special water here called Svalbardi, which is a carbon neutral company. And this is hand-picked polar ice water, which is polarized water which would just melt to the ocean. So it's ethically sourced, and they donate a lot back into the research in the polar regions for climate change. And this water in here is in the region of about 4,000 years old. Yeah, so we have an array of different waters. Mother Nature's vending machine, I like to call it. You know, there's more flavors than what Coca-Cola and the Pepsi-Colas of this world can churn out. And it's just about discovering this and putting your mindset into water is just not water, water has taste, and let's explore. And that will, I believe, will help others appreciate the value of water, that it's just not there for hydration, but including it into a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so we have a combination of still and sparkling waters. Are you guys aware of natural carbonation in water? No? Where Mother Nature has created that carbonation. So when it comes out of the spring, it's already got the bubbles in. And that's due to CO2 pockets under the substrata, underground, under pressure, immense pressure, infusing the natural CO2 into this water. And within that process, you will have mineral contents, higher mineral contents, which really have a very, very distinctive taste and mouthfeel. There's waters just on the back of the wall here, like Vichy Catalan from Barcelona. Such a high mineral content. As soon as you sample this water, you'll be like, wow. But the amazing thing is, it hits the back of your mouth and your palate, and your body's like, wow, these minerals taste so great. My body wants some more of these. You know, it's like a symphony, an orchestra on the palate, but then also your body's like, yeah, this is the good stuff. This is what I need. And you get a number of drinks that are inspired by clouds, produced by Coca-Cola. And this is what gives bottled water really bad press, because these waters are made in a factory. All it is, it's tap water that comes into a factory, and then they ionize it or inspire by clouds. And I believe the negative side of this is the amount of energy that, say, Thames Water have put in to make it clean and potable. They bring it into a factory and then strip it of all of its minerals. Again, that takes a lot of energy, a lot of heat, and then add a special formula of man-made minerals back into it. That for me is fake water. And I like to describe that as the chicken nuggets of water. Over-processed, not good, it's dead water. But if we open our horizons a bit further, there are natural springs in the UK. The time of when we can go abroad, there are amazing natural springs in Europe that we can enjoy. And these are Mother Nature's electrolytes that have all the good stuff that does your mental health, your well-being, your body, and discovering a new taste, and also discovering the source, the local area, the geology. How did that water form? It's extremely fascinating when you look at the backstories of the water that you're drinking. Okay, so we've got a lot that we can discuss about water and the source and how Mother Nature has created this, and this is the backstories. And having this on a dinner table, if we're presenting, say, a bottle of Nevas, okay, for a celebration, this water is a German water, curated, and people that have experienced this are like, wow, it's like Prosecco. It does come in an elegant bottle, but you can have fun with water and create celebration and memories than needing it to be an alcoholic beverage. So this is just a demonstration of some of the waters. If you are looking to change your lifestyle or looking for something a bit different to drink, or alcohol is not your thing, then we have a number of amazing waters. And then also with waters, they're not like wine. Each water has a beautiful bottle. They're all different in shape and size, and this is what really brings amazing table appeal. This is La Sasse from Megève, ethically sourced, carbon neutral, from one of the highest points near Mont Blanc. So this water is gravity fed from meltwater, so it's seasonal. So only between March and April, I believe, this water's bottled in this beautiful hut that's just on the top of the mountain. And all the materials are locally sourced. And this brings a lot of wow to the dinner table, a lot of conversation in regards to the source, the point, what they're doing in regards to the environment. So I feel like real, genuine bottled water it brings a lot of excitement and conversation. And all these brands like Solvadi here, they really care about the source and protecting the source. These are not large companies that are the Nestle's, the Danons of the world that are just there to sell commoditized water, plastic, which contributes to our global issue with plastic pollution. So there's another one here, Lofoten from Norway, and they've actually, this here is a beautiful soft water, again from a natural source. And with these bottles, we don't just throw them away. We could keep them, put a beautiful flower in them or something, or if you have 2 or 3, it'd be brilliant decor for your house. So, you know, it's not fancy water. People will look at it and think, oh, it's just fancy water, but the backstory is the taste of the water, the presentation, then having, say, a bottle of wine on the table. But wine and water do complement each other, definitely. So they're always thinking outside of the box, and Lofoten have just launched aluminium recyclable, just to do their bit for the environment. So these brands are small, but they send a very good message, and everything we do will have a carbon footprint. But if we're selective with what we drink and understand where the source is from, then I believe the carbon footprint of a bottle of wine would be in the region of maybe 200 litres plus of wastewater to create that wine, probably more. And then some of these waters would be maybe 10 litres. So it's looking at that balance, but then appreciating Mother Nature's gifts. And I believe once you start exploring these waters, your respect for water, if it's tap water, filtered tap water, bottled water, will change. The mindset, knowing that there is these amazing sources of water that are still out there and that need to be protected. So at home, I'm a huge tap water lover. We are the luckiest people to have that. What I do also do is look at water technology to improve the tap water in regards to, I'm not a big fan of the taste of chlorine in my water. So I do have a filter, and there's an amazing company in Denmark called Aquaporin. And that is the name also given to how cells transport water between, say, a leaf. And that is selective, and it can help remove contaminants. I do encourage you to look at the Aquaporin website. I can send you some links to that. But these are technology, so we're not reliant on the commoditized water, because you'll be surprised. Sometimes I do shop at Costco, and it's shocking the amount of just commoditized, cheap plastic water that is sold. People are in there, trolleys full. And I'm an advocate of, if you feel that you have an issue with your water supply, and all across the country, all across the globe, it's different. The source of the water, the way it's treated, the distribution of the water to your outlet. However, there is amazing technology that's coming onto the market, which is affordable, to enable you in confidence to drink tap water. So we're not creating this second water supply of plastic bottles. I think it's mad. And I think the awareness of water technology and the confidence that it will bring to some consumers that may be in an area that's affected, or it's just a mindset of, I need to improve my tap water is. So I think it's very important that we celebrate tap water and look at ways of improving. And I'm sure over the last month, if you could give me a bit of feedback in regards to what have you been doing to your tap water to make it interesting?
Mike's off.
Have you been infusing it with fruits or?
I quite like adding, I don't know if someone else, I quite like adding like mint, a bit of mint maybe, and a bit of cucumber. That's quite nice in water for me anyway.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Nice and refreshing with the coolness of the cucumber. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I must admit, I'm one of the bad ones, I think, that doesn't drink tap water. I think because it, just like you say, there's, because I drink water like all day, and
Yeah.
I don't like the chalky taste that, or the chlorinated taste that
Yeah.
comes with South London water, certainly. So I don't tend to. So I feel bad now after what you said about the plastic, but I do drink bottled water.
Yeah, and please remember this, it's not a bad thing. It's what we're presented with, and it's not publicized that, hey, you can improve your tap water. And sometimes tap water, you must remember that Thames Water provide us with very heavily regulated water. It's tested. We live in a big city, so the distribution pipes may pick up some tinges of discoloration, but 99.9% of the time, this water is 100% good to drink. So, just quickly touching on, if you leave your water out for a little while, it will evaporate that taste of chlorine, and sometimes I do that, and it does help. Has anyone else got any tips of what they've been really enjoying with infusions of tap water or improving their tap water?
I just like it chilled. Sort of put it in the fridge
Yeah.
and chill it.
And that tends to maybe take that taste of the minerals away. And we're going to touch on temperature a bit later, but there's a huge, huge, exciting influence of temperature and water. So, and yourself?
I've drank quite a lot of mine hot, actually, just like when I would normally have tea or coffee. I've just had like hot water out of the kettle. I found it more palatable in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Very, very cold, you can't drink very quickly or an awful lot of. So
That's right. That's right. And I was one for always kind of chilled water, tap water in the fridge, etc. But during the last month, wow, has my habit changed completely. I've really gone for room temperature or warm water with a fresh turmeric and a little bit of lemon. And I've been having that warm, and I must say, I don't have the crash from the caffeine, because my normal morning would be a coffee followed with water, and now it was just straight water. So and temperatures help me really sort of wake up in the morning with that warm water, and maybe it was that influence of coffee or tea as well to give that sort of mindset, but it's definitely helped. So cool. Thank you for your feedback, guys. That's great. So we're gonna which waters have people got, and we could maybe just go through the chemical compositions of these waters and discuss maybe a little bit about the source.
Do you want me to start? Oh, you start, Marion.
Carry on, I thought. Sorry.
No, you go, you go.
The Asda bottled water, which was in the cupboard for emergencies, because my water went off one time in the middle of the month. I had no water at all, like just for a few hours. But it was a real lesson, like no water to drink, no water to flush the toilet, no water to clean your teeth. But
And
hallelujah, it was back on in the morning.
And what an absolute shock to the system.
Yeah,
and the amount of people that do not even have that luxury of having water, it's shocking. Just even today, my cousin who lives in South London, Mitcham, had called me today to say that they had contaminated water with brown water coming out of the taps, and they were asked not to drink it. So that completely changes the dynamic at home of drinking, of washing, of everything that we require water to do. Water's life. So it can happen, and it turns everything upside down. But having to do that on a daily basis would be, and I'm very grateful for this. We've all gone out to purchase a bottle or two just for this water tasting. What was your experience going out to get this water? Was it 2 buses in a train? Was it a walk to the shop? Was it an hour queue with COVID?
Just a walk, but wasn't much choice. So just San Pellegrino. I was surprised that they had that and the Highland Spring, but the local to shop.
Beautiful waters. But
I walked around the corner, but there's only a Waitrose near me, but that meant that there was the best selection, I think. But probably overpriced.
yeah, Waitrose does provide a good selection of waters. Whole Foods also provide a very good selection of waters, but these are, I guess, in their supply chain of what they could provide. But what I was touching on was, did anyone have a journey, like say a child or a family in Ethiopia needing to go to a well, you know, if it was half a mile or 2 miles to get that water, you know? So we're very fortunate that within 30 seconds, we've got water at the tap, or a quick trip to the shop and we have maybe a variety of 4 to 6 waters to choose from. So I was just touching on, you know, again, how fortunate we are also. So okay, so should we start to try some waters? Yeah. Okay. You guys are thirsty, eh? Okay. Cool. So yeah, we've got some Fiji water. Great. I've got, yeah, perfect. Fiji's perfect. We've got San Pellegrino, perfect. Highland Spring, perfect. Okay, so what we're going to start with, oh, and Aquapana as well. Okay, so what we're going to start with, we're going to start with the still water first, okay? And if you're not if you don't have Aquapana, just try your still water, okay? So let me just have a little tap water. Okay, so I'm just going to get a fresh glass. We're going to try the Aquapana.
So I can't open my bottle, so I'm going to have to ask my boyfriend to open the bottles for me.
No problem. No problem.
Could I ask a quick question just while we're waiting?
Yeah.
Do you think it's good to drink bottled water, or you know, the ones that are in the supermarkets and stuff, or would you say is it better to drink tap water, filtered tap water?
My opinion is, if you can, drink tap water for hydration purposes. If you feel that you don't like the taste, if it's the chlorine, and remember, chlorine has done amazing things for water distribution and health, reducing cholera, etc., and waterborne pathogens. If you don't, then there are ways of cost-effective filtration. Okay, if it's with a water filter jug, if it's with a water filter, and these last for like 6 months to a year, and it will reduce the cost of buying plastic. So you save money, but then also you're doing your bit for the environment of the plastic waste that is associated with it. And please, there is nothing wrong, you know, and I'm very proud that you are saying, hey, I'm drinking plastic, but I think it's there's got to be a bit more education out there, even if it's from the governments or the local water boards, of promoting ways of filtration or improving tap water. So it is what it is. Me personally, tap water, filtered tap water, bottled water for the experience. I treat bottled water like individuals treat wine or a fine spirit, and that's the way I see it. So, you know, food and water pairings we'll touch on in a bit. It can be achieved, and hopefully I can demonstrate that later. Yeah.
Glass bottles rather than plastic bottles.
I like the glass bottles because it's nice to hold, it's recyclable, but then also it's beautiful. You know, I've demonstrated some really nice bottles here. It brings a bit of conversation to the table, etc. So yeah, I prefer glass, definitely. So we're going to try Aquapana from Tuscany, from the Tuscan Hills. Okay, this is a TDS. Remember when we discussed TDS, total dissolved solids? This will have a TDS of about 180. Okay, so it's a classed as a low mineral content water. Say London Thames water would have a region of a TDS of about maybe 220. Okay. Oh, I get what you I get what you're saying about opening the cap. Mine's a bit tough also. Okay. So just gonna have a quick pour. So already right now, you will have the ingredients that constitute the water on the side, okay? So we're looking at bicarbonates, calcium, sulfate, chlorides, silica, sodium, magnesium, potassium, okay? These are all the minerals that this water has picked up in its, I think it's about 15 years journey, picking up through the geological strata of the Tuscan Hills, okay? So, shall we taste? Cheers. Immediately, I would say this is a soft water. If you were to compare that with, say, tap water, that you'd have. So this here, I've got the tap, and this is Aquapana. Straight away, I find that a lot more heavier because it's got more dissolved solids, total dissolved solids. So it's got more calcium, more magnesium in it. With the Aquapana, where it's a lower TDS, it feels a lot lighter, a lot softer. Okay. The higher the TDS in waters, the more you'll taste. And with the selection that we have at our local supermarkets, these are more of the low to medium mineral waters. So, you know, when we have the opportunity to do a real water, like a real live water testing with a variety of TDSs, we'll slowly graduate. But what we've got here is the best of what is accessible to us at the moment in COVID times. So Aquapana, beautiful water from Tuscany. Its TDS is only 180, okay? But then if you were to graduate onto, say, a Fiji water, just here, okay? Yeah. So you've still got your glass of Aquapana. Pour another glass for Fiji, okay? And I'll tell you why this water, to me, it's quite a good water, and Hollywood has not made this water famous, okay? And I'll tell you why. So let's have a quick taste. Definitely similar minerality. Aquapana. Definitely. Fiji. So did you find that the Fiji water is smoother than the, say, Aquapana in mouthfeel?
I'm not sure if I can describe how the difference. But maybe you've described it better than I did.
I love exactly what you've just said there. The description. We've never been taught the vocabulary of the taste of water, have we? So I'm new to this also. You're new to this. I'm new to this. Have we ever been taught, oh, this is how we describe the taste of water? Because we've always been told, oh, water has no taste. But my immediate, and I don't have no superpowers on my palate. I'm just a regular guy, kind of into water. But I definitely taste a difference in regards to, I find the Fiji more softer and silkier in comparison to the Aquapana. And the reason for that is due to its mineral composition. With the Fiji water, it has a very high level of silica. I believe it's in the region for about 90 milligrams a litre. And silica, natural silica, gives water that silkiness, that velvetiness that you find with Fiji water. But then if you look on the side of the Aquapana, the silica level is, does it state, is only 6.9. 6.9 milligrams a litre. That's very low in comparison to the Fiji. So what you'll find with Fiji is that soft, silky, velvety mouthfeel. And also silica is amazing for your hair, nails, and bones, and skin. And it's proven. So this water is, I find, a lot soft and silkier in comparison to the Aquapana. But very, very similar, would you say? But when you're sampling the two, I definitely do find that there is a difference in mouthfeel.
Yeah, to me the Fiji water tastes quite minerally though. I don't know whether because it doesn't say on the bottle, the Fiji one, what the
They used to, yeah. Yeah, they used on certain bottles. I have seen the mineral composition. For some reason, even the bottle that I've got here, but just from knowledge, this will have a higher level of silica, a lot higher, probably one of the highest levels of silica, and that there gives it that mineral composition, but the soft and silkiness that you immediately feel.
I think it's really nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's a wonderful water.
Although I do feel a bit bad drinking something that's come all the way from Fiji, I do have to say.
100%. I totally agree, and hence why the bottled water is for the experience.
Yeah.
You know, really, for me, each water that I drink, I research about the geology, the location, and be very grateful that I can access this, but it's not an everyday hydration. Or as part of my hydration, I may have a bottle as a treat and then rely on my tap water or my filtered tap water. So what I like to do with this, would anyone have any Evian? What other waters do we have? San Pellegrino, cool. Ah, okay. Maybe, is that a D side? Yeah, okay. What would be really cool, and there's no right or wrong in this, try the D side in comparison to the Fiji. And
Okay. What's the other one?
there is no right or wrong, just describe.
I've got to now get the lid off it.
These pesky lids, you got it? Beautiful.
Where is that? Yes, go on you. So this is from the UK, isn't it? This one.
Yes.
So that doesn't. That's not as smooth.
Yep.
Not as smooth, but it's less minerally.
Yep. You're right. Yep. You're absolutely right.
It's got a sort of slightly chalky feel, almost.
Perfect.
Have I got it?
Yeah. Perfect. And that will be to the mineral composition of the water. It will probably have a higher level of calcium and magnesium than what the Fiji will. The Fiji's got the higher silica level, which gives it a very different mouthfeel and even taste. I personally find the Fiji slightly sweeter than the Aquapana. So yeah, it's water. It has very subtle taste, but it's definitely there. And the more you work with the minerality, the higher TDS level, the more of a distinctive taste it will have. So if we try, say, the Carbonated San Pellegrino, yes, it's got added carbonation, so it's going to be very different from the still version.
So is this San Pellegrino, is this naturally, does this come out the ground carbonated, or is
No, unfortunately San Pellegrino doesn't, but there's other waters from Italy. In North London, you've probably got access to Italian delicatessens. There's a beautiful water which I really recommend you to go and try called Federelli. Okay, and that is high in potassium, and it's a naturally carbonated water, and it's got these beautiful bubbles of joy, really minute micro bubbles, and once you've experienced it, you'll be like, wow, this is different. But I'll send some recommendations over. Okay, so this is the San Pellegrino. Already, for me, there is added carbonation, so already the mouthfeel, the texture is completely different from a still water, but you definitely get a more hit of the mineral. For me, I taste it's bitter, lemony, salty, and chalky. That's how I would describe it. That's the immediate flavour that I perceive.
But how much of that is because it's carbonated, so it creates that sense, or how much of that is because of the mineral composition?
Yeah, so it definitely has a higher mineral composition than, say, the Fiji or the Aquapana. And this will be stated on the back. So, for example, the magnesium level is 49.5. And for me, the taste of magnesium is sort of zesty and mineral. So, but the carbonation definitely provides a completely different mouthfeel. And this is where pairing waters and foods and wines can be achieved, because the balance of the minerals, plus with San Pellegrino, you get quite loud round bubbles. But then if you were to drink something kind of effervescent with micro small bubbles, that brings a completely different mouthfeel and texture to the palate. So when we're looking at, say, waters and foods, just before we touch on that, is there any other waters that you guys have that we could just maybe taste? You got the Highland. Cool. Do you want to give that a go, and maybe let's describe what the sensation of the bubbles, the taste, the aftertaste, etc.
It doesn't seem as salty as the San Pellegrino.
Yes, yeah, you're right, because it will have a lower mineral composition. Because I believe for Highland Spring, it's the basalt rock on the Achilles Hills, which it's got about a 15-year journey of filtration, and it hasn't picked up higher mineral content as the San Pellegrino. So your description is
Magnesium in the Highland Spring is only 10.1, and it's 49 in the San Pellegrino.
and you definitely feel the difference.
Very much. And the chloride's much lower. It's only 6.1.
And these are all the beautiful minerals that Mother Nature has infused into the water. So where we discuss water and food, most people are like, what the hell? Water and food, you can't pair this. But when you are really sort of diving deep into the water and looking at the mineral composition, then that pairing can actually occur. So who likes wine?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so
looking forward to it immensely.
yeah, brilliant. So, for example, let's start with wine. Okay, we've had the Aquapana, okay, and then we've had the San Pellegrino. Okay, so a white wine. For me, I love Chablis. Yeah, I would pair the Chablis with the Aquapana. It's got the lower mineral content water, and it's a lot softer, and there's no carbonation. So what I like to do, and explore flavor is sip some wine and then sip just a little bit of Aquapana together and allow that to cut through the alcohol on the palate, and you'll be absolutely surprised. The fruitiness of the wine, it really does pop, and it's just complemented with the water. One, to keep you hydrated, don't get over drunk, don't receive a hangover, but also, you know, you're exploring, say, a nice bottle of wine, and you want to explore those flavors. So I would have this on the dinner table for the white wine, okay? But then if you were to have something a bit more bolder, say a red Rioja, something a bit more bolder, I would probably go with a higher mineral content water, or the San Pellegrino, what's available. And where that mineral content is higher, it works with the tannins of the wine. And again, you'll be surprised. A little sip of wine with a little sip of water, the notes that are left on your palate afterwards, it cuts through the alcohol, and the terpenes and the flavors of the wine have settled. So that's just a sort of a contrast of what can be achieved with, say, water and wine. But then also Fiji as well would be quite a nice one, also with a white wine, due to its soft and velvety sort of texture with wine. So it's playing with the mineral composition and carbonation level. We sort of touched on natural carbonation. So there are a number of waters out there. I would say at least over 500 naturally occurring springs where they bubble up to the surface with natural carbonation. And these carbonations can be big, round, wall in your face, like fireworks that are going off, or these can be like elegant pearls. Like genuinely, you drink these waters and it's like pearls. And this plays a huge influence with the types of foods that you're eating. So if we were to go back to, say, Fiji water, I love this with dark chocolate because of the silky nature of the water due to the silica, and this and dark chocolate together, or cashews or pistachios, the creamy texture. I know you might sound a bit mad, but it's definitely worth trying. The mouthfeel of it is brilliant. I quite enjoy it, and I could sit there with a bowl of, say, cashews or pistachios with Fiji and just drinking them together, because the sensation is quite amazing. And again, it's not like wine where it's real punchy, real vibrant, but it's just sometimes just closing your eyes and just letting the senses do what they do best. And water's just got water. It's got that terroir, it's got that vintage, it's got everything that we discuss with wine. So in regards to, say, foods, if you're having, say, like a fish dish, okay, you would want, say, a high mineral water or a low mineral water. What do you think?
I'd go low mineral.
Nice, beautiful, yeah, yeah.
And more higher mineral for meat. Red meat.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, yeah, that's exactly how I would also pair, and I enjoy experimenting with different waters with a meal. And yeah, so like I enjoy halibut big time, and I would go with the low mineral water, probably Aquapana, that's available, or from my collection on the back wall, I would look at the mineral composition and then pair the waters. But then definitely for something more gamier, red meat, it's got big, louder bubbles that help cut through the fat. And, you know, it's the fat that really gives the meat the flavor. And the carbonation and the mineral content will really allow that flavor to come out on the palate. So, yeah, that's right. So it's just that balance and exploring the way mineral waters can provide that sensation while having a nice meal. But then also on the dining table, with the array of bottles that we have, so we've got Lofoten here, it does bring a bit of conversation also. oh, look how elegant the bottle is. You could explain to your guests where the water's sourced from, and the backstories are amazing. Like David Attenborough's always got a beautiful backstory, hey, of the region, the animals, and it's the same as water. And this has been on planet Earth since the beginning, but we've just never really given it the attention that it deserves, because it's always been there for life, for hydration, as a requirement. So we've got those waters there.
Just ask, you know that lovely bottle you showed us at the beginning, the one that you said was like Prosecco?
Yes, Nevas.
How
Yes.
much, that one, yes.
Yeah.
How much would that cost then?
This
It's in the UK, or can
yeah, it will retail for in the region of about £20.
you? Wow.
Yeah, but it's a curated water. So I know a price against water, but it's for an experience. This isn't water that you would chug and just drink. This is like if it's a celebration and you don't want to open a £20 bottle of champagne, and I know it's water, but once you've tried it, I conducted a water tasting last week, and they had the same reaction. And unfortunately, you can't sample it at the moment, but I'm going to find a way of getting you a bottle, okay? But I didn't say anything, and a guest opened this and had the mindset, oh, it's just water. And immediately, her first words, her description, the way she described the water, oh, it's like Prosecco. So it does have some substance, the bubbles, the minerality, and for someone that was very, it's just water, the first reaction, the immediate reaction, it was like Prosecco. So if we weren't in these COVID times, hey, I'd be at your houses with a flight case of different waters to try. But after this call, let's make some arrangements, because you guys have really sort of engaged and asking amazing questions, and let's get some waters out to you. Yeah. So, but also there's some very local waters at your Eastern European stores also. At the Polish stores, there's one called Muszynianka, which is a naturally carbonated water. And for me, it is like a natural Red Bull, full of magnesium, full of bicarbonate. It really does wake you up. And I enjoy having that if I'm feeling a bit tired or sluggish. I tend now not to go for a sugary drink or a Red Bull. I will go for that Muszynianka because it's full of Mother Nature's minerals, and it makes you feel great. So I could also give you a little shopping list for you to explore. And you know, for us that live in London, it's very cosmopolitan, and we kind of have access to amazing waters that are outside of the remits of Tesco's, Waitrose, etc., and Asda's. So let's share that definitely. So we're looking at, say, temperature also. Okay, the way I like to describe temperature is you enjoy your water chilled, correct? And that's a bit like where water has a really subtle taste. So cold water is kind of, the way I describe it is you've bruised your arm. You bruise your arm, you put an ice pack on your arm, and that numbs. Yeah? That's exactly what cold water will do to your palate. You know, if it's at like 3 or 4 degrees, you drink that water and it just numbs your palate. Very refreshing, very cold, but you don't get a sense of taste. And prior to the days of the refrigeration, people would go to the springs for health and well-being, because this is where that was the local pharmacy for them. It wasn't, you know, tablets or pills. It was to go to the natural spring to drink the water. And that water would be, if it was at 5, 6, or 12 degrees, it's natural temperature emerging from the ground. So where we're looking at temperature, this is the key to really discovering the taste of water. So if it is bottled water or if it's tap water, if it comes out cold, sample the water cold. And then maybe wait half an hour and the water will gradually rise to room temperature. Try it again and it will taste completely different. and then a bit more, a couple of degrees more, and it will taste different. And what I like to do with bottled water is really embrace the experience like a fine wine. So if it is, say, Lofoten here, this is a very super low TDS. I believe in the region of about 20. So London tap water in the region of about 200 to 250, 20. So this is like glacier melt water. So I will drink this about 5 degrees in a glass, and then leave it to let it gradually warm to room temperature, and just sample it within a two-hour period. And you'll be amazed with the complexity of different tastes that you achieve from just temperature itself. And, you know, during this just water, I have really zoned into this because temperature has helped me get through of just drinking water at different temperatures at different times of the day. And it's, I would say it's probably made me drink more water as well, having that varied temperature. And the higher the temperature, slightly, you know, say 16 degrees, for me is that sweet spot. For some reason, around 16 degrees or cellar temperature where you keep wine, I tend to find more complex taste from it. And again, I don't have this amazing super palate. It's just embracing water and finding different ways of experience and trying to get that mineral taste, the terroir of Mother Nature from the water. So we've touched on temperature, but then also there's the hangover element. I've not had a hangover for the whole of January. I feel great, a lot more energy. I've complemented my hydration with different waters, which have different mineral compositions. So if I've gone for a run, I may have a water with a higher mineral taste than a lower one. So that's where we are with the food and water pairing. But if you've got any questions, like, I'd love to discuss that.
Thanks so much, Milin. Has anyone got any questions before we wrap up? No? Well, I guess we'll have your email address. So if people have questions afterwards, and it'll be great to have that Prosecco bottle, because that's more than I'd spend on an average bottle myself. I don't know what that says about my drinking habits. But
yeah, I think the takeaway from this is many people think, oh, that price for water, but it's not there for just hydration. These are from natural sources. Yes, it does come in I would say, a very unique, very fancy bottle that for a special occasion, this would be presented and experienced. It's that you have bottled water, i.e. your commodity water, and the damage that does to the planet, and just turning it into our second water supply from the tap. But then you have experienced waters that come from Mother Nature, where the individuals that own the springs do their hardest to preserve and distribute this for people to enjoy, if it's for their experience, if it's for health benefits. And I'm a true believer, prior to pharmaceutical drugs, does anyone know where people would go to get better? As a cure?
water.
Yes, to the springs, to the bar, natural bar.
Yeah, and majority of these waters have all got history of providing health and well-being. So that's the way that we sort of look at the bottled water, and put all that over-processed, that chicken nugget processed water in this world out of the picture. And hopefully I've hydrated your imaginations, and that water is just not water, and water is as unique as you guys. So yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you so much. I'm sure we've all learned a lot about water and bottled water, so it's super interesting, and thank you for your time.
Not a problem.
Thanks, and good luck for the next couple of days, everyone.
Yes.
Almost there.
Really interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, really good.
Thanks. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.